welcome to episode 6 of the Knitted Cupcake podcast. Yay! Happy New Year! Guys, we made it to 2017. I know that many of us were not big fans of 2016. I will say my personal life, things went really well. It's just outside factors like we all are aware of, and we all know that we're kind of crummy. But it's in the past. It's done. It's a new year. It's a fresh start. And here we are. It's January. And it is January 6th, Friday. And I'm just going to check my little watch here, make sure I'm going to have enough time to do this. I'm meeting up with some coworkers tonight to go get some Mexican food and margaritas. So I'm going to try to get this recorded and going so I can maybe have it processing, uploading, or something when I leave. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Welcome. Let me introduce myself. I'm Lacey. I am from Washington, currently live in Central Washington in the beautiful town of Wenatchee, where it is really freaking cold and supposed to snow for the next week. Not that excited, but that's why I knit, so I can stay warm. You can find me on Instagram under the.knitted.cupcake. You can find me on Ravelry as WOU Knitter. And I forgot last week, to mention that I've got a podcast group, and you can find it under the Knitted Cupcake podcast, and all of that will be down here. So come add me, join my group, come say hi. I'm pretty friendly, I think. Yeah. So today I am drinking my Tazo Vanilla Rooibos tea, and in this lovely procrastinating mug, which I got at Christmas, but not for Christmas because I bought it myself. And it's procrastinating, defer all other activities to knitting. So, defer all other activities besides knitting, which is my life. I will avoid dishes and laundry, and that's about it because I'm not married and I don't have kids. So those are about my main priorities in life. But I will wait and do all of that because I'd rather knit. So I thought this was very appropriate, and it's got this cute little inside little yarn ball with knitting needle stuffed through it, which I just think it's freaking adorable. So this will probably become my podcasting mug. We'll see. That can change. Anyway, welcome. I hope everybody's Christmas and New Year and just the overall holiday season treated you well. I did a lot of traveling. Didn't travel far, just drove a lot. I live, like I said, live in Central Washington. I was with my family on the west side of the state for a week, and then I was down with my boyfriend and his family in Oregon for a week of my Christmas break. So definitely kept me busy, driving a lot. For the most part, avoided super bad driving conditions. I was delayed coming home for a day, but all in all, it was good. Safe travels, made it to and from everywhere nicely. So yeah, that was my overall Christmas. Let's get into it. Let's just dive right on it. So we'll start with some finished objects. And both of these you have seen before, but I got them done now. I know they're only on one, but I have their mates here. But I finished my December socks, so that means I got 2 pairs of socks done in December, which really makes me super excited because I don't think I ever talked about this. I'm 29, will be turning 30 this June, and I had created a list of goals for myself that I called 30 before 30, and many of them I won't be able to complete, but I'm working on them. I'm trekking, pushing along, and one of them was to make 1 pair of socks a month leading up to my 30th birthday. This was before I knew about Kristen's box of socks cow, and considering I started in June, I just didn't have enough time to I mean, maybe if I really pushed myself, I could have finished 2 pairs of socks a month, but anyway, I didn't do that. However, my total count up through December, so for 6 months, is 7 pairs of socks. So I am on track, going on. Some months I didn't complete a pair of stocking, but other months I completed 2 pairs of socks. So it's balancing out, it's working out, and I still have those socks that I casted on during those months that I'll hopefully complete and finish. So let's talk about this guy first. This is you saw this last week. I had one of them, it was a hoe last week. In fact, I think this is probably the exact one I showed you now that I'm looking at the heel. But it is Haverland yarn in her Sexy Lumberjack colorway for the main part, and then for heels, toes, and cuffs in the her gingerbread color. So it's awesome. I absolutely love these socks. They rock. I obviously still have ends that need to get woven, but it is what it is. I cast these off New Year's Eve, so I just eked by getting these done in December. And I love them. For these, I used the Susan B. Anderson. Last week I called her Susan B. Anthony multiple times. And as awesome as both of those women are, they're 2 very different women. The Susan B. Anderson Smooth Operator sock pattern, and I tried her new no gap, no pickup, whatever heel that she added to the pattern. Not my favorite. I've decided I'm definitely a Fish Lips Kiss heel fan. That is, at this point, my favorite heel to do. So I probably won't use this heel again unless something just kind of bites me and says, do it. So that's that one. I'm kind of doing this backwards. And see, look, there's the other one. Ta-da! And this one, I'm trying to think, it still is a little bit gappy on the heel little pickup part, but I don't know. Fish Lip Kits, it's my favorite because I don't have to Kitchener twice in the sock, and once I'm done, and yeah, so yeah. And then, ta-da! This actually, I finished Christmas Day about 5 minutes before everybody showed up to my parents' house for Christmas festivities, so I just barely squeaked these by to get them done to wear Christmas Day, and I love them. These are my You've Been Elfed socks by The Cozy Knitter, and they just, I mean, I love them. How can you not love this yarn? I mean, look at the glorious striping and the fun green. I mean, it's so good. And there's the other one. Ta-da! And this is just my basic vanilla sock. I did them toe up, and I cast on 12 using Judy's Magic Cast On, increased until I got to a total of 64 stitches, and then knit the foot. I had to split the white stripe to get the heel in at the right point, and then knit the top of the sock. I wanted to make the sock a little longer, but by Christmas Eve I knew I was rapidly running out of time, so I just made it short. And then I think I did 20 rounds of 2x2 rib. So yeah, these are my finished objects for now. I have a few things that I want to add, but as we all know, my camera likes to cut off every 10 minutes. And I'm almost there. So, okay, so to continue on with my finished objects, which will kind of lead me into my whips, and kind of take me on a little bit of a tangent, and I'm going to preface it with, it has not an error, it's blatantly political because of what it's intended for, but I feel like many of us within the knitting community and knitting world are supporters of this, and so if you're not trying to offend, just freedom of speech and that kind of thing. So anyway, ta-da! Okay, so I decided last minute, and by last minute I mean I feel like I'm running out of time to get these done, and I just don't look good in these hats, but I had decided to partake in the Pussy Hat Project. And if you have not seen it, January 21st in Washington, D.C., and now all across the nation. I just discovered a march happening in Wenatchee the same day. There are marches happening for women's rights. And also, it tags along as a bit of an anti-Trump protest with the play on words for the name of the hats being the Pussy Hat Project. And I decided that I wanted to partake in this because the way that our president-elect has spoken to and of women kind of, it really enrages me. I've got a 10-year-old niece. I hope to have kids of my own one day, and I hate that that's the example to our boys and our men, that's how you can treat and speak of and speak to women, because it's not. It's completely inappropriate and uncalled for. So I love that this is a kind of a play on that. But at the same time, I mean, I'm a woman. Why wouldn't I want equal rights in all of these aspects and areas? And I won't go into detail. I already have, whatever. So this is an FO. I finished this one last night, and then I started my second one. And this one's a little different. It's got some blue in there as well, but again, primarily pink. But yeah, so like I said, I've discovered that there is a march happening in Wenatchee. So rather than sending these out to DC or Seattle like I was planning on it, now I would like to keep them here local for the men and women marching here to show support for them and to help them feel included in the giant march that's happening in Washington, D.C. And I'm just really excited that I get to be a part of something like this, to see such a huge community of people come together for one thing. I think is quite amazing. And it's kind of one of those things, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. And so I just felt like I really needed to take my stand and say that I support my gender and our rights, and I don't agree with how our president-elect has treated women in the past. And I want to make sure that it's clear that that's no longer going to be acceptable and okay and pass as the norm. I don't like that is the norm in our culture right now. So that's kind of what I'm standing for in this event. So I'm hoping to join the march on January 21st, and I would encourage you, if you feel strongly about this as well, you know, there's still time. I am using the Kit Kat hat by Andy from Andre Sue Knits, and because I want to use it in the round. But if you look up the Pussy Hat Project on Ravelry, it will come up with their pattern, which is very similar, just knit flat, and you have to seam the sides. So I would encourage you, dig through your stash, find some pink yarn, knit a hat, wear it on that day, ship it off to one of the marches and the rallies close or far to you, far from you, whatever. But join in, support, if this is something that you feel passionate about. And if it's not, welcome to America, and we can disagree and we can still be friends, and I love that. So yeah, I'm gonna stop with that, but these are my two of them. I'm hoping to get at least two more done. I've got 2 entire skeins of I Love This Yarn from Hobby Lobby, in one lighter pink with kind of sparkle through it and one bright neon pink, and I want to knit as many of those as I can. So that's kind of a goal for my next few weeks, and I think that'll kind of take up a lot of my knitting at home, is getting that one finished and then at least 2 more knit. So there's that one. And now I'll go on to an older whip. You recognize this bag. Ta-da! In here is I'll put it down here so I can actually have room to move it. exploration station, and I'm halfway in a row right now because I was working on this at home and I decided that it needed to get put on timeout because apparently knitting stitches and slipping stitches is really difficult for me to do. So I need to take back to the end of the brioche. Anyway, so last time you saw it, I was about halfway through this blue section and obviously had not started my brioche. And this is Exploration Station by Stephen West, and I'm using a combination of Madeline Tosh sock and, let me dig through here, Tosh sock and Twist Light. And I have the colors, I'll list all the colors down below and details that way. But this is definitely something I want to finish within, hopefully this month, because it's really freaking cold here and I'd like to wear this amazing shawl, but yeah, that's it. So I've made some progress on it. I'm through section number 2, and I kind of goofed up in placing my colors. This is actually what was supposed to be forward, and I goofed it. And in setting it up, I set it up so on the right side it's the pink that's the first color. And even now that I see that on camera, I'm like, oh, how cool is that? So I don't know, maybe I don't want to redo it. So I don't know. It's gonna sit in timeout for a while because this slip stitch section obviously has me a little bit frustrated, and to tear all of that out and go back to this gray stripe. So that's whip number 1. How exciting, right? Ho hum, whip number 1. Whip number 2, the rest of my whips actually are new whips. This guy I didn't have a Christmas Eve cast on because I brought whips home with me to work on rather than new projects. And so I finished my socks, and that was kind of my big thing to work on while I was home with my family. And then I came back here for a night and then drove down to Oregon, and when I went down there, I decided to bring yarn for a new cast on, and I am really impressed with myself. Cast on my Maisie cardigan, and this is a pattern that I got in the Get Your Yarn Wish Granted. And guys, I have so much of this done, so much of it done. I am way impressed with myself. Look at this. I mean, it doesn't even, there we go. Okay, so I have the entire body of this cardigan knit up to the armpits, and I'm ready to do sleeves now. And I got all of this done between Christmas and New Year's. This is 3 skeins of yarn. Let me tell you what I'm using. I am using Plymouth Select Worsted Merino Superwash in their gray color, and there are no fun names. It's just color 67. There is my label. La da da. I'm a center pull person, so yeah. So this is skein number 4 that I just barely started to get across and cast off for the armhole. So right, that's going to be an armpit, but I'm so excited by this. So here is, see if I can see that, there we go, the stitch pattern. And this is just, it's a kind of a shawl collar. It will run all the way up and around the back of my neck. And then it'll kind of raglan-y type, I don't know, but top down, just have really, I am all over the place. I am so sorry. Let me just kind of slow my roll for a sec, because okay. I knit all of the boring stuff over my Christmas break. All I have to knit now are the sleeves and then the top portion of this cardigan. And I have decided to take a page out of Meg from Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits and do my sleeves 2 at a time, similar to how I do my socks. Because A, I want them to be the same length, and B, if I knit one, I'm not going to want to knit the second one, and I can't do the rest of the sweater until I have both sleeves done. So, excuse me, ta-da! I'm going to knit them 2 at a time. I am hoping, my goal is to have this done by the end of January, because it will stay. I mean, look at how much that is, guys. That is a huge piece of fabric, and I did that in a week. Yeah, I'm hoping to get this done by the end of January, because it will continue to stay cold here until March at least. So it's going to be a super warm. It's got these awesome, you can't see that because it's way down there, these cute little pockets that right now are just, get in there, little holes because I need to sew up the back of the pocket, but I haven't put pockets in anything before, so that's definitely a first. And I've never, oh no, I made a vest that was bottom up construction, but I haven't done anything bottom up construction with sleeves, so I'm curious to see how those get incorporated into the rest of the garment. So that was kind of my Christmas Eve cast on, but I cast on after Christmas, like the 27th or something like that. But that was my, definitely, that's going to be part of Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady, her selfish knitting cal, because dang it, I've had that yarn since June-ish, maybe May? Anyway, sometime last spring I got it because my yarn shop was closing and they were doing a special deal with special orders, blah, blah, blah. So I ordered a sweater's quantity worth of that yarn, knowing that I wanted to do a sweater. And I had one pattern picked out originally, and then, oh, I think it's Rachel from the Hey Sister podcast either started her Maisie cardigan or showed the pattern, and I went, yes, that's what I'm going to use that yarn for. So I've known for a while what I wanted to make out of it, and it was just a matter of sitting down and actually doing it. So now, on to my very first cast on of 2017. Woo! Okay, so speaking of knit-alongs, I'm trying to do as many knit-alongs as I can this year, which is probably going to drive me crazy, and I'm probably not going to be very good at it. But I decided to join Mina's Cozy Schlanket Mystery Knit Along. Ta-da! And there's clue 1. Spoiler, if you don't want to know, don't look. But here's clue 1. I'm through. So, I don't know how good of a light I have to... It's dark outside. I'm going by my kitchen light and my dining room light, so I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. It's that green. And this is a little more, yeah, it's pretty accurate. Anyway, so I am using Rowan Pure Wool Worsted in the colors, and I will give them to you in order. Get out of here. My color A is bottle green, which is really pretty. My color B, which I don't know why they call it this, but they call it mustard, when it's really kind of this avocado-y, green olive-y kind of color. So why they call it mustard, I would never eat mustard this color. And then my color C is this awesome, oh, that's gonna, there we go, baby blue called Oxygen. And these 3 skeins I actually got last spring during my yarn shop's fiber tour, and this is one of the prizes I won, and it originally came with this, I have it in my little brown bag still, pillow pattern. And I am not a big, I mean, I knit and I make blankets, but to make like throw pillows, not really my gig. So I've just had these 3 skeins, coordinating skeins, sitting in my stash for 6 months. And when Mina was like, oh yeah, you need 3 colors in, you know, X amount of yardage, I went, hey, I have that, I can do that. So that's my first whip and cast on of 2017. And I'm quite excited. I think it's going to be really fun. I have one worsted weight shawl, which is my Autumn Dreamer, but I think, because this is called a Schlanket, I think it's going to be massive, and I'm going to love it. Love it, love it, love it. So there we go. So I think her next clue will come out on Sunday. So very excited about that. My second cast on of 2017 is also going to be part of a different Cal. And this is going to be part of Katie from Inside 23 is doing her Harry Potter knit along, her year-long Harry Potter, which I love. I love Harry Potter so much, guys. I'm a Gryffindor. I don't know why, but I hadn't sorted myself yet. So last time my boyfriend was in town, I said, hey, we need to sort ourselves, go to Pottermore, get ourselves sorted into the appropriate houses. And I thought that I was probably a Gryffindor just because of my personality, but I wasn't 100% sure. And sure enough, I was a Gryffindor. My boyfriend, on the other hand, I was like, well, what house do you think you'd be a part of? And he goes, you know, probably a Slytherin, but I think I'm a Ravenclaw. So he tested, and first he's like, definitely not a Gryffindor. I'm not a Gryffindor. He's a Gryffindor. Anyway, so back to the knit along. I am using, well, okay, so more story time with Lacey. Also, the last time he was in town, I was using my little foot pattern to look at one of my socks to see where it was at and how much more I had to knit. And he kind of looked at me and goes, well, when are you going to trace my foot? That was the first time he'd ever shown any interest in me making socks for him. So I was like, yes, score. And so I traced his foot, and then this is also kind of leading me into acquisitions. While I was down visiting him, they don't have a yarn shop, but they have a fabric store that carries some yarn, and it's good yarn, but it's not my like local yarn shop kind of quality of yarn, if that makes sense. But they did have Patton's Croy, which I thought, great, awesome yarn to make my boyfriend socks out of because it's inexpensive and it's like industrial strength. So I totally copied Bad Meg from Bad Wolf Girls. It's knits again, and I am knitting the Singing the Blues colorway from Patton's Croy. And these, I don't know how well you're going to be able to tell, but there is a little bit of a stitch pattern texture there. And this is the Mrs. Weasley's family sock pattern from A Homespun House. And I'm doing man size, which is massive. I have typically been doing 64 stitches on my sock. I think I'm gonna go down to 60 stitches. I think that's gonna fit my foot just a little better. I have big feet, but they're not wide, they're pretty narrow. And so this is 8 to 12 stitches around bigger than my socks, so they're huge. But I think he's gonna like them. And why I really like this yarn is because it reminds me of Thin Blue Line. And I've mentioned this before, but my boyfriend is a police officer, and obviously back the blue, you know. So I just thought these were very appropriate for him. And because they're Mrs. Weasley's family sock pattern, they qualify for Katie's knit along. Yay! Okay, so I bought that Patton's Croy. Oh! So the main color is Singing the Blues. This is just their gray marl. This is 30 rounds of ribbing. So much ribbing. That is so much. And look how big that is. Like, that's bigger than my face, guys. These better fit him. I hope they do. I hope he likes them. When I first asked him if he wanted me to knit socks, what he'd like, he goes, can you just knit me plain black socks? No. If I'm gonna knit you socks, they're gonna be striped. Because if I knit you a plain color, it will take you 3 years to get your socks, because I will get bored with them. So yeah, his first pair of knitted socks, I hope he really likes them, because so far they're really fun. I mean, they've knit up so fast. I think I cast these on Tuesday, and I did Mina's little trick of doing the cuffs separately on double points and then transferring them to my circulars. Oh, I'm doing these on a US one. These are my Chow Goo red lace, and so far they're my favorites. I haven't used Addie's sock rockets for Magic Loop socks yet, So I'm sure if I use them, I will love them because I love Addy needles, but the red lace are, I love them and they're less expensive. So why change it? So I picked up yarn for that pair of socks. And then I also, considering he wanted me to make him plain black socks, I thought, you know what? I'll get him this yarn too. And this, again, Patton's Croy. This is the Eclipse stripe. So it's black, dark gray, light gray. That's it. So I mean, they'll be nice. They'll be great socks. Again, Patton's Croy, a very industrial strength sock yarn. I think he'll like them. And I've showed him these, I've shown him both colors and been sending him pictures of the socks as they've been knitting up, and he seems to think that they look really nice and he really likes them. So hopefully he's not just blowing smoke, because they're gonna take me a long time to do. Anyway. Okay. Show notes. So now that I'm into acquisitions, we found out this last week that our local craft warehouse is closing, which I didn't go to all that often, but I knew if there were certain things I needed, they were the place to go. And so I'm bummed to see them go. But here's the deal. Since they're closing today, they started with their 20% off sale, and then I think they're going to increase percentage, you know, as time goes on. But I wanted to go and pick up some fat quarters to make some project bags out of, because I'm going to get my sewing machine up and running one of these days. And I knew that they had really cute fabrics in their fat quarters that I had not seen anywhere else. So I went and I loaded up, and I actually put some fat quarters back because I didn't want to get too ahead of myself. So I got enough fat quarters to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different project bags. One of them, if I can get it done in time, I'm intending to gift to one of my knitting friends who's moving away. Well, I don't know. This one I want to open up because I want to see. They're just the quilting cottons. And again, fat quarters. This one, I'm so excited. And I don't know, I haven't decided if I'm going to do, because I got 2 fabrics for both. And I don't know if I want to do Hugh Loco's pattern and have it be fabric, and then a different fabric on the inside, or if I want these to be one of the fabrics on the outside and one is the liner on the inside of the bag. I don't know yet. So, but I have 2 fabrics that are going to go on each bag. I just have to figure out how. So this is my first one, and I just thought that that was freaking adorable. Look at the vintage little camper trailer things, guys. How cute is that? And they have, you know, live simply, enjoy the ride, happy camper. I just thought that that was really adorable fabric. And to go with this fabric, I got cute little, come on now, bunting and lantern, like little camping lights that you would see on little trailers. So they will be something like, I'm making a mess out of my life right now. So they will be, come on now. You know, just cute. Cute. So yeah, I don't know if I want to do outside of the bag, inside of the bag, top of the bag, bottom of the bag. So this one may be an outside inside just because the campers are way adorable. The bunting is really cute too, and it's definitely a coordinating fabric. They were fabrics I think are part of the same line. So let's see here. I didn't think about doing this when what do we think? Top of bag, bottom of bag? Top of bag, inside of bag. We'll just have to wait and see. But if we're going to do top of bag, bottom of bag, I need to get a lining fabric. So that's bag number 1. bag number 2, and I don't think I'm going to open the rest of these up because I think that you can probably see what they are just from the outside, is going to be a Seahawk, and so it's got the helmet and then a lime green to go on the bottom. And then I also got the coordinating Seahawk fabric in the lime green with a kind of white and silver shimmering, I don't know how well you're going to see that. You can kind of see it. Kind of chevron fabric. So one of these is going to go to my friend who's moving away because we have done Seahawk knit-alongs together. So one for me, one for my friend. I kind of have a sports theme going on, I'm going to warn you. And you'll know this about me. I really love sports. So the next one, which I'm really excited about, is a Seattle Mariners. So it has the little S, and then it also has the Mariners little compass logo, and then just a baseball print. And then last, but certainly not least, as you know, my Huskies. They did not win, they did not beat Bama, but I could not be prouder of those boys and that team and how far they've come, and I'm so looking forward to what, you know, the next couple years has to offer. So I got myself fabric to do a Husky bag. So just the standard Husky purple and gold, and then a matching purple and gold and white polka dot. So I've got some fun bags coming down the pike for myself and for other people, but the one is the gift. So I'm so excited. Maybe I'll go and pick up some oil from my machine and try to oil it up myself and see if I can get it running this weekend, because that would be fun. Okay, acquisitions is done, and now it's just a bit of chit chat, because yeah, it's just some chit chat. Okay, this is a really crummy intro to this section, but as I mentioned last podcast, Sarah from the Hooks and Books podcast and I decided to do a knit-along. Yay! Our first knit-along, guys. How exciting is that? We decided to do the rose hip sock pattern, and just some cool things have come from it. I decided to do a giveaway on Instagram, and she joined in. So go to our Instagrams. She is hooks_books and I am the.knitted.cupcake. Friend both of us. And there is a picture, you'll have to go back a few for me, of a giveaway for the pattern. And so that is running until January 10th. You have to follow both of our pages and then repost the picture with the hashtag. I think it's, I'll put it down here for sure, but the hashtag is Hooks and Books Rose Hip Cal giveaway, maybe? I don't know. I'll put it down below, and it's definitely on that post. So you just have to follow us, repost a picture with that hashtag, and then you're entered to win a free copy of the pattern. And she's going to pick someone, and I'm going to pick someone. So there will be 2 winners who can win the pattern. Also, the pattern designer, which I don't, oh my gosh. Okay, I don't have my phone sitting next to me, and I did not write down. It's Verena, I don't remember her last name, but the Wool Club messaged Sarah this morning and thanked her and I for selecting her pattern for a knit-along, and then said she would offer a coupon code for people buying the pattern for the knit-along, and you get 20% off, which is way cool. So the coupon code for that is Hooks and Cupcake. And you just have to go and add it to your cart and use the coupon code, and it'll give you that 20% off. And then it also will show you the links to our Ravelry groups where you can join. I know I have a chatter thread set up, and I think Sarah's working on hers. So come join the chatter and show us what yarn you're using, any questions you may have. Are you going to do them 1 at a time or 2 at a time? I don't know. Whips are allowed. Double dipping is absolutely allowed. For the whips, my one request is that if you're knitting them 2 at a time, you can't have your heels in yet. And if you're knitting them one at a time, you can't have started your second sock. I think that's fair. It's running from January 14th to February 14th. And then we will hopefully draw names and people and posts for prizes. We're gonna have prizes. So, pattern designer also said that not only do you get a coupon code to get 20% off the pattern, but she's also donating patterns for prizes. So I think what we're gonna do is Sarah will pick a winner from her threads, I'll pick one from my threads, and someone will win a pattern of their choice from the Wool Club. I feel like so official right now in my podcasting and my knit along. Speaking of prizes, I also decided to donate a prize, obviously, and someone will win some Felici. How fun! I originally bought this for myself to do my February socks, but I'm making these awesome rosehip socks for my February socks now. So somebody else gets to enjoy this yarn. And this is the Jamboree colorway, and it is a 6 stripe repeat. 6? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. And it is pinks and purples and peachy golds. Very pretty Felici, so soft, so squishy. And there may be some Progress Keeper stitch markers thrown in with this as well. So I am just kind of blown away at the generosity of Miss Verena, which I'm probably butchering her name, I'm so sorry, at her willingness to donate a coupon code for us and donate prizes. So for any of you who may be makers out there who would want to donate prizes, I'm obviously going to accept. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. I am totally okay with supplying prizes, because what's the fun of a knit along if you're not going to have any prizes? So I will remind you what yarn I am using, and Sarah and I are using the same yarn because she gifted this to me and she had a skein in her stash still too. And this is Lolo Did It on her favorite base, which is a merino cashmere nylon in her Hello Gorgeous color. I mean, Hello Gorgeous. It really is beautiful. Just this awesome dusty rosy tonal pink. I'm so excited. So I'm not gonna cast these on. I have to finish my cable ship socks first. So this is my lovely yarn that I'm using. And I think that's kind of a wrap up on the knit along. So join our Ravelry group, join in the chatter thread. I think depending on what the chatter looks like, if there's enough chatter going on in that thread, I'll draw a prize from the chatter thread too, so that you can talk about the yarn you're using, show pictures of your progress. So yeah, do it. Join the chatter. I'll open up a finished object thread on the 15th of January, so the day after it starts. So yeah, so hopefully I'll have at least 2 prize winners that I can draw. Next up is kind of my knitting goals, and I didn't do any knitting goals for last year. It's okay, but I've decided to jot down a few for this year. And in looking through my Ravelry, I have 2 projects that are languishing whips that I have more languishing whips just hanging around, but those are the 2 that are on Ravelry that I'd like to finish. I have a Hue Shift Afghan started, as well as a bubble wrap cowl from Madeline Tosh. So those are the 2 things I'd like to finish for sure, as well as my Walking Dead shawl. I'm gonna put that out there. I want to get that done. I also want to be better about posting my projects on Ravelry. Now that I've got this podcast started and the group going, I really want to make sure that I have accurate notes on the projects I'm using, the start, the finish dates, the yarn, the needles, this, that, and the other thing. So, and pictures, so you can see better what they look like. I want to continue with my pair of socks a month, and join in Kristen's box of socks along this year. So, unfortunately, I don't think my boyfriend's socks count. They have to be socks from me, so I kind of need to get I have my rosette, but I need a January sock on the needles for myself. So maybe I'll use my Felici Beyond the Wall yarn for that. That was my goal for that one. I also want to keep up with Katie's Harry Potter knit along. And she has, you can go to her page, watch her podcast, and get more information. She has a whole separate video for this knit along that explains the rules and stuff. But for that, I want to knit at least 6 projects that qualify for this knit along. And so I've got one going already. Yay! I also have yarn for 3 sweaters. One is in progress, so I've got 2 other full quantities. And I want to get those knit up. I want to knit and have garments now. And next is just more podcasting. Keep up with this, hopefully grow the group, do more knit alongs throughout the year, and all that. So I'm kind of looking around, looking at my notes, and that's about it. So I want to thank you for joining me. I should have said this at the beginning. If you're a new viewer, thanks for stopping by. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what else you'd like to see from my podcast, and join my Ravelry group. Join the knit along, because it's going to be fun, and I'm so excited about it. So here's to 2017, and happy knitting. See you next time.